Asperger. Does that mean something in your mind? If I would say syndrome of Asperger, yes, no, maybe. It's a disease, a branch of the autism. There are people in the world that are affected of it. I'm part of them. Every day I undergo its symptoms or its effects. It's not a joke. I don't pretend to get your sympathy for myself. These stereotypes and these prejudices. I'm born with that disease. It's not my fault, neither my parents. However, I can cope with it, but not without the feeling of inferiority. It's hard to bear. I must make up with it, being a fighter. Thank you. Now I'm gonna tell you my story I lived in the past with the syndrome of Asperger. Here's a part of it. When I was a young kid, the symptoms of this disease had the strongest clutches on me. The singular gestures and manias that seized me then were particularly serious and awkward for me. I had trouble to make friends for me. I had weird-looking tics, behavior, involuntary gestures or muscle contractions, but I also was leaping on the spot while grabbing my neck with my fists, hissing and making other sounds with my tongue. Weird and worrying symptoms. Hey, contribution on negative. Hi guys, the stereotypes, gestures, and tics I had in my childhood and pre-teenage and partly described in the previous video were very important and difficult to live with. But there were others. I was rocking my upper body back and forth, lost in thoughts. In my waking dreams, I was wandering in my imaginary world. Actually, I imagined myself with people, those that exist and those that don't exist, talking with them about fanciful subjects, nothing in connection with the actuality. My lips were visibly moving, and I was walking in around or pacing up and down. Hi guys, happy to see you again. With the passing of time throughout my adolescence and as I was close to my adulthood, the leaping moves, these neck seizures with my fists, these hissing and other mouth sounds had begun to slowly diminish, went chilling out until to completely disappear. But not the rocking, nor these fancy daydreamings. What I don't realize when I am in my imaginary world, it is the people around me hear me whispering aloud. The conversations with the people inside my world become so real and so intense that I let myself go into the talking pattern. Really, it's not my fault. Is there something wrong being mentally deficient, being handicapped, being invalid, and being sick in that world? Not at all. I'm not ashamed living with the syndrome of Asperger. I live it very well. Don't be uncomfortable with your disease, your handicap, your invalidity, and your health issues. You can't change anything. There's no shame being so. So what is the real shame? The real shame is face the prejudices, the wrong judgments, the discrimination, and those who do such injustice towards us. They are the real shame. Shame on you, discriminators. Dear viewers, You must know that it has not been easy at all for me to confide like that on such a sensitive subject. I had to gather my courage and my moral strength to achieve such a testimony. But I needed more strength, tenacity, endurance, and boldness to confront my awful situation. And I hope my example will help sick people. Whether it's due to age, to a lifestyle, to an accident, or you're born with it, you may be strong. Strong to confront your condition, to struggle against bad feelings like complex inferiority, depression, and despair, and to stand against the discriminators and haters. Hello, my dears. I'm back. I'm not done with the syndrome of Asperger. Not yet. Those who know me well nowadays, since in the past, are able to confirm you what I'm gonna say you. If ever you come to meet me anytime, you notice that I can sometimes overcome the symptoms of my disease. Maybe you will even think I'm a liar, that I talk nonsense, but nah. The symptoms occur unexpectedly the most of the time. You will be conversing with me for a quite while when sudden, on their own, images of my thoughts plunge me into daydreamings. Dear subscribers and future subscribers, you probably wonder about my last video where I spoke about images of doubts. Which images? I dream to meet my favorite actors and actresses in person. I even imagine myself playing with them in movies. So, as my expectations don't materialize, I imagine being with them. As I already told you, my conversations with them and any other existing people become so real and so intense in my mind that the persons around me see my lips moving and hear me whispering while I'm rocking or moving in any way, so focused. Dear subscribers and future subscribers, among the symptoms of the past of my disease, there are 3 that are gone. Do you remember which ones? Go check the related video about it just down below here to know the answer. But there are 3 other signs that are stood with my disease. Which ones? I'll refresh your memory. In the same related video, do you remember which 2 are still there? The rocking moves and the daydreamings. But a 3rd sign has also remained and worsened with the passing of time, the tics. These involuntary muscular contractions. Hi guys, as all of you know it, I am the only person with the syndrome of Asperger. There are hundreds, indeed thousands of people that are affected of it in the world. But this disease or any other forms of autism doesn't affect us in the same way, in the same degrees, and in the same seriousness. My case is slight, but still not negligible. I'm part of the minority with this low gravity, but there are others that are worse than me. However, the symptoms either aren't the same from an individual to another. Not always. They fluctuate. As I already said once, there's nothing wrong, shameful, and odd being mentally deficient, being handicapped, being invalid, and being sick in that world. That's a part of life. Live your trouble joyfully, shamelessly, and without any worry. But there are hateful, intolerant, and stubbornly unsympathetic people in the world, sadly. Those ones seek to establish their own arbitrary criteria of what is normal or appropriate according to their limited outlook, so they bully the people that don't satisfy their unfair opinions. These ones are truly those whom it will be a shame to be with. Shame on them. Living with the syndrome of Asperger is not always easy, as it has always been easy in my past. As I already said it once, there are the feeling or complex of inferiority, the fear of being judged, rejected, hated, ignored, mocked, and being the object of indifference. It dates back far in the past. In 1980s and 90s, in the primary and secondary schools, I was object of derision, of depreciation, of judgment, of rejection, of hatred, and of intimidation. My classmates made me know I was ugly. That's why when a girl today says me I'm handsome, I don't believe it. I think she's mocking me. Hi guys. This is true that it is not funny being ill or being an Aspie, being mentally deficient. There are things we cannot do, like working for others in big enterprises or having big enterprises, and many other things several people are able to do. But we don't focus on what we're not able to accomplish, but on which we're able to undertake. Myself, I'm an Aspie, and yet it doesn't prevent me being a human, being happy, and being myself. I'm not ashamed being an Aspie because I'm still a human, and I'm loved despite this deficiency. Shame goes to the bullies, and only to the bullies. Dear viewers, I ain't so different from all the other humans. The other Aspie neither. This you know it. The syndrome of Asperger is not a so terrible mental handicap. I've learned to live with it. There's nothing to make a drama of it, but I managed so hard to get through this bad experience. It has been quite an ordeal. I managed so hard to go through disabilities, adversities, bullying, and to accept my condition. During years, I was influenced by those who criticized me and my condition. I thought like them, but not anymore. Hi guys, there's nothing wrong or terrible being an Aspie, especially when it's not your fault, neither your parents, when you know you're born with it. But having it contains some inconvenience, particularly one. With this syndrome of Asperger, I suffer from its side effect, a kind of immaturity. See, I'm 45, soon 46, but I have an intellect or a mentality of an 18 or 20-year-old youngster. I perceive or consider things not always in a bright way, and the problems I don't every time resolve them reasonably or wisely. I don't know how to say exactly. Hi guys, there's no miraculous cure for our situation, and don't let anybody destroying you or discouraging you with false hopes. Never believe these advertisers and commercials that deceive people using special effects or AI to hook perfidiously the most naive ones. This is an abuse of trust. Their creators are motivated by greed. But there's something better than expecting miraculous medicines. There is a far best cure ever, the acceptance and the resilience. You and I, we must learn to live at peace with our condition while adopting this aforesaid mindset that is the real healing from negative thoughts. Hi guys, despite our disease, the syndrome of Asperger, and its inconvenience, we have rights and value amidst this society. We won't shrink back before the bullies. They will shrink back before us. They will give up their stupid criticisms and recognize we're humans. But I don't say that with taste for polemics or to found a movement. The goal here is to never let ourselves defeated by negative thoughts and bad feelings that mean criticism could instill inside us because we are mentally sick. We must not let the bullies win. They want us to feel worthless and hopeless. They can be victorious. It depends on us. Hi guys, I know there are some among you that support me and the community we are of Aspies. On behalf of all Aspies, thank you so much. We truly appreciate your regards and your sincere impressions. But you would do us a greater favor if you would like to press the subscribe button and the notification bell. That way, you won't miss my next videos. Please keep getting us a thumb up to encourage us, especially me. We're so grateful to y'all, and I hope we're gonna go on this fruitful collaboration together. Stay tuned. Other videos are coming. Hi guys, in the video My Life as an Aspie, advocating a community of Aspies, the real cure, you perhaps didn't understand the message I tried to spread, or it confused you, so let me clarify things now. I just wanted to warn the Aspie people to be aware of the imposters, whether they are well-intentioned or ill-intentioned. These people's steps or initiatives are more harmful and demoralizing than helpful and promising. The syndrome of Asperger is not like a cold, a flu, a diarrhea, a nausea, or a headache. No material medicines may heal it. We only need people to help us to accept our disease, to live with it. Dear viewers, the syndrome of Asperger's symptoms have an impact not only on my behavior and my emotions, but also on the rest of my life. Though my disease is light, my whole lifestyle is affected by them. For example, I would like to work to provide my needs, but I can't. Which boss will be patient enough to keep me? In a hurried world where they are used that everything goes fast, my constant daydreamings will make things dragging out, and no boss could afford such delays. So the syndrome of Asperger has made me utterly dependent of others. Dear subscribers and future subscribers, especially you, Aspies. As I can't work for someone for me to provide to my own needs, I am vulnerable in that merciless world. And as my parents are not everlasting, who might I trust to take care of me? See, they are not only benevolent people in the world, they are persons that would take advantage of my situation, of my vulnerability that might cause prejudice to me. They are not only voluntary people, but also venal ones, profiteers, manipulators, and cunning ones that will be ready to harm us, you and I, Aspies. Listen carefully. I know that I went through hard times with my syndrome of Asperger. It was not easy to live with it, especially when I confronted defamations and degrading insults. But I don't take my mental illness as an excuse or a pretext for my past conduct. I've not always been a good boy. These verbal reproaches and or attacks were so painful, unfair, and unfounded that they scorched my dignity, my self-esteem, my self-confidence, and my deep pride. So I retorted any time to my attackers and accusers. Think I should have done. It couldn't be done. Listen carefully. Remind us, we are right only about what we know well and accurately. Question: why the most intelligent man doesn't exist on earth? Answer: because it is an absolute impossibility to know everything. Everything is too much for a human brain and its cognitive faculties. Do bullies know something about the Asperger? Not even the slightest bit. They are more ignorant than a newborn and more stupid than a donkey on this disease. They disparage the Aspies like me more to impress the companionship than they really have something against us to reproach it to us. They're so pathetic. Listen carefully. Bragging and claiming an importance they don't have. Here's what the matter it is about from the Bullies. Only for the pleasure of harming the mentally sick people, getting them pissed off. But as for Aspies like me, this must not work because they want us to feel miserable, unvaluable, and a dead weight for society. But as every Aspie should be, I'm proud to be what I am despite my disease. It doesn't make me less human nor more cattle or an object. I feel more man and dignified than ever. I have become strong through disabilities, so you can thrive as I did. Listen carefully. I don't expect any miracle coming from men. How would you react doing so if you discover that all expectations from the scientists and physicians were only a filthy scheme? You'd certainly conclude that it is a pharmaceutical conspiracy, a machination to enrich at your expense. Would you trust people that will do this to you? To say it again, the syndrome of Asperger is a deeply genetic disease, not like a flu and a cold. So they can heal it with any chemical process. The Aspies like me absolutely don't need such a deceitful and disappointing hope. Treat us as we are, human beings. In the past, because of the syndrome of Asperger and my wrong responses to provocations people hurled at me. Girls and boys at school focused on my appearance and my weird gestures and manias. Even the girls letting themselves influencing by the distorted perceptions of their friends contempted my presence and the idea that I deserved to be loved. This bad experience and situation had seriously damaged my self-esteem, my self-confidence, my dignity, and my pride. So much that today yet, I doubt about myself being deserving of love from a girl or a woman because I fear being misjudged and criticized by them once again. Everything I lived with the syndrome of Asperger, what I undergone from the disrespectful and hateful ones, difficulties and problems I had to endure before to finally thrive in triumph, has been trying and very better. I went through tough circumstances and contexts that affected me so deeply, emotionally and psychologically, really. I suffered greatly from being cruelly offended and treated as a worthless worm, shameful burden of the society in the past. Dignity life, is too much precious to let things getting us down, especially not by thoughtless criticism. I'll assert my rights, my status of human being and advocate Aspies. As I already said, I've not always been the brave and bright man you know now. I've not always well responded to offenses and poisonous criticisms. I replied thoughtlessly, cowardly, dirtily, and angrily. What didn't impress my attackers, nor persuaded them to stop harassing or convince them of my wisdom or my good sense, what I didn't show off. I was backfiring or repaying them in kind. I fought fire with fire. I was getting angry and easily pissed off. I'm sure it is the same for all other Aspies in their past or now. But they shouldn't do that because what I've done myself, I regret it. So we aren't cleaner than anyone. There's no one that's better than anyone. Neither somebody that's craftier or more intelligent than another. It doesn't exist because we are all very limited in our knowledge, in our cognitive abilities, and in our perspicacity. We must all learn parsimoniously and endlessly. Never anybody will be able or well positioned to say, I know everything. Nobody is in the best condition than anyone, nor someone that has more abilities than everybody. The main reason is that we all live, each one bearing weaknesses, loads or burdens of life with their difficulties, the worries, the anguishes, and the torments. Infirmities or not, we are all humans. As human beings, we are like anyone on earth. There is no reason at all to disregard us as useless and pathetic scums just because we're mentally sick or deficient. The syndrome of Asperger doesn't change anything to our status of human being. It doesn't excuse at all the impertinent attitude of these ignorant bullies. So, as human beings we have the right to be loved, considered, worthy of affection, respect, tenderness, justice, fairness, and attention. We have the right to wed and to be loved. We don't want to have sex because sex is selfishness, not love. Love us. The syndrome of Asperger is a very serious case, not an urban legend. This disease is a reality for a significant number of persons. It is always important to talk about it. It is not to entertain you that I do it. It's important to know about this deficiency for you to understand it better. But where went this interest of yours and the views rate? Me and the other Aspies, we suffered greatly from discrimination and various attacks from being so and misunderstood for long. Is there something that people don't understand? Is there something you don't like? Is the syndrome of Asperger a boring and annoying subject? The syndrome of Asperger is not a joke nor an urban legend. In this video, you really see a man that has to live with this disease and its symptoms. It's me. My name is Dominic Hamel, and this should show you that this deficiency is real as the trisomy 21, autism, handicap, an infirmity, and disability, as I am so. That's why I need you as supportive fans to help me in my self-acceptance towards this disease and living with it. Because this is the true strength, the true happiness, and the true triumph. The best thing you can do is to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Thank you.